Hafaday. Okay, great. Hafaday, and welcome everyone to your Guam Congress building. Thank you so much for joining us here today. This is a special honor for me to be able to present this resolution to Rainbows for All Children Guam. I'm joined here today by the chairman of the Committee on Education, the Honorable Senator Joe S. San Agustin. Thank you. And I'm Senator Regine Bisco-Lee, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about my personal experience with Rainbows. I learned about it when my sister and I joined the program in the 1990s, shortly after our parents' divorce. And at that time, I really just saw Rainbows as like a fun after-school group. We would get together with some of our peers, other students, and we could ask questions and be around adults, very caring adults who could help us out, you know, through what we were going through. In retrospect, I really see it as an opportunity to feel accepted, to feel understood, and to be around people and other of my peers that were going through similar situations, whether it be the death of a family member, the death of a parent. Nowadays, many kids that are involved in Rainbows also have maybe parents that might be incarcerated or parents that might be off island due to deployments. And so kids, you know, they're really resilient, but they also need a lot of attention, and especially when they're going through these challenging times in their lives. So I think it's really unfortunate, it's an unfortunate truth that in our community, many people that we come into contact with every day, especially children, are dealing with grief. They're dealing with loss. They're dealing with painful life changes. And sometimes really traumatic events that kind of lead up to that. And we see, even on the national stage, what that can do when people are harmed on the inside. They turn around sometimes, and it's super unfortunate, but they sometimes lash out and harm others. And so I just want to applaud all of you for really the great work that you've been doing in supporting the Rainbows program. Many teachers in this room, many of our business sponsors that help to keep the program, have helped to keep the program going for decades. And I really applaud you as somebody who's come through the program, and I use so many of the tools that I learned through Rainbows, not just in my professional life, but even when dealing with my own children now. And so I really I'm so grateful to this program for all this incredible resource that they provide to the community. I think Rainbows has really been there, not just for my sister and I, but nearly 20,000 children in Guam since 1987. So please give yourselves a round of applause for that. I also would be remiss if I didn't mention that this organization is supported entirely by the generosity of Guam residents and our businesses. So I want all of these donors to know we have representatives from McDonald's and from Micronesian Mall, from ASC, and many others who are very supportive of the Rainbows program. I want you to know that your dollars have been well invested in our island's children and in our community as a whole. So let's give a round of applause to our sponsors. Before I proceed, I just wanted to give Senator San Agustin an opportunity to share a few words with you, and then we can go ahead with the resolution presentation. Senator?
Well, I'll keep it very short. You know, I have 3 kids, but I also have 9 grand. So when I look at the kids today, it reminds me of my grand. The youngest is about a year old, and the oldest is 21, all from one daughter. So I can imagine, you know, and when I see the kids today, when you identify the sponsors and you're supported by nonprofit organizations, whoever's in charge, I'll leave you my card. I'm the president of the Veterans of Guam Motorcycle Club, and I will invite the other motorcycle club to support you guys. I just need to know that, okay? Thank you.
And so again, I'm going to ask Senator San Agustin to join me, and if I could have Marie Holleran, the executive director, and the Rainbows team come up to receive this resolution. This is just a resolution expressing our undunkla nasiduis maasi to the Executive Director, Marie Halloran, the Rainbows team, and all of our sponsors for their efforts in planning the 30th annual Rainbows 3.5 mile run walk for youth, and to ensuring our children have this critical resource available every single day of the year. So I'm just gonna hold this there. Do you want to do the presentation? Thank you. And Senator San Agustin will give the official presentation. Marie, would you like to share a few words? Oh, she's getting the card first, things first. So yeah, if you can share a few words and then we can take a group photo. Yeah.
I'll be waiting for your call. Tomorrow. You can call me later on today. All right. I am sincere about that. I'm part of 4 different Mozart clubs, Veterans of One, the Legends, the Championships, and Hardy Homes Group.
All right.
I will reach out to each one of them and say, this is another group we need to help. Because we've helped meet a lot of groups. This is one group that children, I'm big on children.
Is it okay to read the letter? Sure, sure. So we'll have Ms. Halloran give us a few words of wisdom, and then if all of you can come join us up front we'll take a group photo.
Good afternoon. I just wanted to share with all of you a letter by one of our Rainbows for All Children participant. How rainbows makes a difference. My name is Joanna James Pangilinan, residing in Washington State, employed with the Department of Social and Health Services, Children's Administration, as a Child Protective Service investigator. I have been through a lot of traumatic events in my life, starting with the divorce of my parents to losing 2 very important people by the time I graduated from high school. I would venture to say that the skills and lessons I learned from my first traumatic experience had defined the way I dealt with other painful events to follow. My mom told me I had to participate in a group which will help me address my attitude. I was very hurt, lost, confused, isolated, but most importantly, really angry. I was angry with my mother, my father, with every teacher who tried to talk to me, with my siblings, and I hated myself. I thought that if I were a better child, maybe my parents would still be together. I thought that if I just got my grades up a little bit higher, my parents would stop fighting and they would still be together. I was 7 years old, maybe 8, and I felt I was the reason why my dad was no longer coming home. I was forced to participate in the Rainbows group. I was a student at Cathedral Grade School when I threw water into the face of a high school girl because she moved my bag in the cafeteria. I took her lunch tray and threw the food on her uniform. My mom was called and I was suspended. It was highly recommended that I participate in the Rainbows program or risk the chance of getting expelled. While in the group, I recall sitting by myself the first few times. Despite my anger, one lady always spoke to me like I mattered to someone. Her name was me. Before I knew it, I looked forward to Rainbow Days. I remember an activity where I was introduced to the stages of grief and healing. This exercise was for the first time I truly felt normal and there was hope. Everything was going to be fine. I just needed time. I participated in the Rainbows for Children for about 2 years. Rainbows definitely helped me heal. I was in a place where my whole world was ripped from beneath my feet. I was in a place I felt ashamed of my home. I was in a place where I could not feel anything but anger and hatred. And Rainbows had helped me recognize I was going through, understand what I was feeling, accept the cards I was dealt, and then most importantly, help me navigate all these scary but very real waters. Rainbows gave me the tools I needed to recognize that I had in me to get through this. They showed me how strong I could be, but most importantly, they allowed me to go through the different stages of at my own pace. The pain of a parent's divorce is something that words can ever express. It is a loss in its own sense. I know my soul and my heart bled for a very long time. And I will always feel the invisible scars. I suffered from it, but these scars are also a reminder that I have overcome this, that I had the strength not to remain lost, the strength Rainbows planted in me and helped me nurture. It has been just 29 years since I walked into the open doors of Rainbows for All Children Guam. I am not sure what would happen to me if they gave up on me. I am not sure what path my anger and hatred would have led me to if Mrs. Halloran did not take that extra time to listen to me, to empathize with me, to make me feel loved again. I know the lessons and skills I learned in Rainbows has helped me navigate the troubled waters. I was one lost soul that Rainbows of Guam saved. There is no price to pay for a life saved, a life they may not even know how much they have impacted until 29 years later. Hey, you guys, keep up the amazing work. You all do. The children of Guam need you. We need your strength, your comfort, your love, your safe place. You love the children who see themselves as damaged and lost. You play an exceptional role in children's lives when children are most impressionable. Rainbows come into our lives when we are most vulnerable, and we walk away, we're stronger and braver than we could have ever imagined. Thank you, Rainbows, for teaching me what nobody else could. Is she your classmate? Yeah. So I actually remember her. She was kind of naughty, but it's just the way it is. And when I read this, I thought about the person in Parkland, the 19-year-old. There's no child that's bad. If we only can do something for them, the little hope that they have, we can really reach out. And I thank even Regine. Regine was good, though.
She wasn't naughty.
Yeah, no, thanks to your help. That was good.
But I wanted to share this with you because I was really surprised when she wrote this. And she's now with Child Protective Service because she really loves the kids. And she understands the way the kids that are lost and called damaged. And no one is a damaged child. Even Ewi is not damaged, right, Ewi? So I thank each one of you for coming here. And I thank, of course, Lenore, who has been with Rainbows for 20-some years. And Phil Shiragi, I don't know why I think he didn't say no to me. So thank you, Mr. Phil. And then, of course, Divina. Divina is so wonderful. Whenever I have the Rainbow children that are thinking of suicide, I would call her, and then she would give us free food upstairs. So thank you, Dee. And of course, Philippine Airlines. Thank you so much for the wonderful treat that you had given us. And we actually, I think that we will profit about $25,000. But it's a lot of hard work. And of course, Michelle. Michelle is a good friend. She doesn't know how to say, no, she knows how to say no. But David John doesn't know how to say no. So we have to work on Michelle. But thank you, everyone, Robert and Isel, their beautiful voice always is so wonderful. And thank you, everybody, everybody. Can you please come up, Stella? You know, Stella's teacher, no, Regine's teacher is Stella. So it's like home here.
Yeah, so let me just...
Okay.
She was known.
Yeah, don't ask her about me. But yes, please, if you could all come up and we'll take a group photo. I do want to just thank you so much. Yeah, Joanna was my classmate. I'm really proud of everything that she's doing and the work that she's doing in Washington State. But again, there's so many examples of success, not just with the kids that go through the program, but the adults too. All of our, the people that go through the program and do the training, it really affects them and impacts them as well. And it really can help to heal our community and make our island so much stronger. So thank you so much. Sejus Masi.